John Aspinall always had an unshakable belief in his own ability to succeed, despite any evidence to the contrary.
The only career that I can remember John having was he was sent out to sell the Encyclopaedia Britannica, and he gave up after 6 weeks, having not sold one. So I think that was his CV would have to say that, and then gambling.
I stumbled on a method of surviving by giving professional gambling parties. In '54, giving chemin de fer parties and taking a tax on each winning bet.
I think the gambling gene definitely comes through the mother side. My mother was a great character in his private games. She did all the food. So when he gave a chemin de fer party in London, in the private houses, she would provide wonderful buffets. Her game pies became famous.
People used to ask for her pies. She had a very special sauce that she used to make, and other dishes she was skilled at. And she was all part of the act.
By 1957, Aspinall was holding perhaps 20 gambling parties every year in some of London's grandest private houses. Then, suddenly, it all went wrong.
One evening, through the front door, at about 1:30 in the morning, when the game, the chemin de fer, was in full swing, came 23 policemen in their dirty raincoats and read out from a piece of paper the charge. Habitual gaming on the same premises constitutes running a common gaming house. And my mother said, "Common? How dare you?" He said, "The only common people here are you." He said, "Particularly with those raincoats." And she turned around to the butler, George, and John, and said, "George, John, take the coats of these gentlemen and hang them in the hall." And he did.
It was 1958.
When the trial came on, it attracted a lot of attention. Of course, the police had not read the Gaming Act of 1845, under which we were being prosecuted. And we won it because the word habitual saved us. They had to prove that we ran habitually a game at a certain address. And this was the second time that we'd ever used these premises for a game. And then they changed the law. I forced them to. The Aspinall reforms, they were referred to in the House of Lords once. I was very proud that they were referred to like that. 2.5 years after the Act, I opened the Claremont Club in Berkeley Square.
Though he gambled successfully in the casinos of London, his methods in caring for his animals were criticised as gambling with human lives. Aspinall always believed in a process of bonding. When they bond, the keepers go into the cages of the animals they know well, like tigers.
Another head rub.
Nick Marks was in charge of Aspinall's cats at Howlett's for 30 years.
I have about 10 that I can go in with. We're allowed in with 1 tiger per person. This was a little thing that she worked out herself. When in fact, several of them do it. When I used to be allowed to clean the enclosure with her in there, I used to fluff the straw up with the rake, and she'd realise that if she jumped on there while I was by the shed, that we would be on a similar level, our heads, and of course that's the way they greet each other, with a head rub, and that's obviously with their friends, that's the way they would like to greet their friends. So she'd jump up on there for a head rub. She's bright.
Was the paw heavy?
No, she's gentle. I mean, you know, they're not pussy cats, but you know when they're getting rough.